thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree falls toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the cloud shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God, who maketh all things. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether it shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly light is sweet, and pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. If a man live many years and rejoice in them all, let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many, and all that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Therefore, remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away the evil from thy flesh. For childhood and youth are vanity. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. We give God the glory and the praise. Oh yes, deliver me from the hands of the evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, we thank God for the psalmist. He says one thing that is so true, even from me looking back on my years as a youth. The evil that youth do, from fornication, or should I say sex before marriage, and some because of the poorness that they experience, theft, covetousness, all these things against the commandment, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High. Can we accuse them as being older? Yes, we can. Because if we can accuse ourselves, and God seems so graciously merciful toward us to give us life beyond our youth, then we see that all in our youth we lived on was mercy. Just mercy, that we might repent and turn from our evil ways. But does that excuse the youth from not changing his way or her way? No, it doesn't. Many of the youth die in groves all over the globe because of the foolishness of their flesh. It's a new world. This is why it's so important that a parent teach their child while the child is yet a child. Teach the child the boundaries, not only of your home, but of the Most High. And not to abuse those boundaries, because there will be consequences. This is the reason that we use the rod of correction, whether we use it verbally or physically. We're in the book of Job, chapter 15. Yes, the book of Job, chapter 15, as you prepare. Job, a man that God had, the Most High, even the Eternal, had favored. He favored Job. Job was one that was, this Edomite was put up. People have given Edom a bad name, but Job gives Edom a good name. In that Job had kept the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High for the time that he lived. and understood. This was the laws that were passed down from Noah that Job had understood. Now, if you read the book of Jasher, you'll find out that Job was mentioned in that book. I won't tell you the passage or nothing, because the fact is, my whole thing is, or my intention is that you might read to prove what I say, that you might prove everything that you hear. Yes. In Job 15, chapter 1, then Eliphaz the Temanite said, should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Fill his belly with the east wind. This is something that is being said. The wind that blows from the east. The east. That means the wind would go west from the east, according to my understanding. Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Now, Eliphaz is really saying, you make no sense, Job. Because how can you speak? Look at you. You're in no condition. You are in no position to speak. Because you are poor, because you are miserable, because you're blind, because you're going through sickness and disease, you cannot speak. I will not hear your wisdom. This is what Eliphaz is saying in so many words. I will not hear. But in the days of trouble, the world wants to hear the weak, troubled, burdensome, wise man. How shall we come out of these things? So says the preacher, which is King Solomon. He said, yeah. Verse 4. Thou castest off fear and restraineth prayer before God. Before God. He said, he's telling him, you cast off fear and you restraineth prayer before God. You praying to God. You're not even praying. You should be praying every day, is what he's saying. Restraineth prayer. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thy choosest the tongue of the crafty. Now, you wonder, Eliphaz is talking from a very demonic point of view to deceive Job. Verse 6, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and I not, yet thine own lips testify against thee. Who can say this? If you ever knew Job, excuse me, and the life that Job had lived, one would not say these things unless they're trying to trip Job up. Would this not even be the things they use in interrogations and all this stuff? After hearing your testimony, and still dispute what you say to get you to make a certain confession? Think about what Job is going through. Thou art the first man. Art thou the first man that was born? Or are you Adamah? Are you the first man born? Or was thou made before the hills? He said, how do you know this and all this? His father Noah, his father Shem, which really, if you really read the books, the early books, points towards Shem being Melchizedek. Shem was an old man. Nobody knew. Once you grow so old, people don't know you anymore. You're just there unless you have a relative that have grown. If you growed over hundreds of years old, most of your relatives will be deceased. Though friends and everything, unless the children know of you. And then they will forget your birthday and everything else. Even though we don't celebrate birthday, but forgetting the days that you said you were born, or even a relative. Maybe he's my cousin, I don't know. You've forgotten. Then he goes on to say, who are you? In verse 9, hast thou heard the secret of God? How do you know what God says? You have to realize what God says back in what Job says back in chapter 14 about the Most High, his own experiences and his observances of the Most High toward mankind. Dost thou restrain wisdom to thyself? In other words, are you the only one wise, Job? You hear these things when you talk. Oh, you think you all that in a cup of tea. You think you know it all. And all you're doing is quoting what you observed and what you've seen. The things that you've read, the things that you've heard. Jealousy. What knowest thou? Verse 9. That we know not, and understandest thou which is not in us. In other words, Eliphaz walking in his own pride. Verse 10. With us are both gray-headed and very aged men, much elder than thy father. In other words, they were old. They were old men. He was saying, now, we're not, we like you, you're younger than us, but we're old enough to be your father, Job. Are the constellation of God small with thee? Is there any secret thing with thee? You know, apparently Job was one who was held in great esteem. But there were those secretly in their hearts that did not like Job and was waiting for this moment. And the Satans surely gave him a moment that they just ate Job up. And Job knew what they had in their heart, and which is they speaking out of the heart of jealousy. Why doth thine heart carry thee away? Verse 12. And what do thine eyes wink at? That thou turnest thy spirit against God and lettest such words go out of thy mouth. In other words, you don't know God. You don't know what you're talking about. But did they know God and they know what they were talking about? Yes, they knew who God was, because the spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts have swayed their heart to speak such foolishness, and the jealousy, the secret jealousy that cometh out of their heart. What is man that thou should be clean? You can't be, everybody can't be holy. Now you know this is nothing but a Satan. He says, what is man that he should be clean? What is man that he should be clean? In other words, we're all sinners. How can we be perfect before God? This is a Satan talking, because God had declared Job perfect and upright. Do you hear me? And he which is born of a woman, that he should be righteous. Oh, we know it's the Satans now. They're all over Job, trying to sway his mind and heart, to bring his spirit down, to cause him to doubt, and to lose his integrity before God. This is what God have done to mankind. Not God, but this is what the Satans. There is no one Satan. There are many Satans. This is just a group name that was given to him by colonizers, period. Now, because all these fallen spirits have names before the Most High. They all have names. Don't be deceived. They all have, even this fallen spirit that tempted Eve. If you read in the book of Jasher, there's a spirit. His name is in the book of Jasher. The one that tempted Eve in the garden, that formed himself as a serpent. Come on here, you got to hear what I'm saying. Listen. That's why it's so important to listen to one who is talking or ridiculing you or saying sweet words, the woman that says sweet words to you, man. Listen, understand the motive. The man that takes you, woman, and says many things that entices you. Listen. This man or this woman is swayed by the evil ones. That mean you know good, that's what evil means. It means you know good. It's all for the benefit of that flesh. He or she have already been deceived. Now here you are being deceived by such cunning words. And not only listen, but observe their actions. And this is what Job is doing when he's listening to these men talk. What is man that he should be clean? Oh, you can't be. Yeah, everybody, we all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Have we all sinned? When a baby is fresh out of the womb, has he sinned? No. He is pure as Job, a blank page. But what he says, I was born in sin and shapen in iniquity. Born in sin, in a world full of those that sin. I was shaped in their ideology of transgression against the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. This is what that writer was saying. Now, he says, go back and he says, now, what is man that thou he should be clean? Verse 14, we're going back over that. And he which is born of a woman that he should be righteous. These are hypocrites. These are people that really are jealous of you because they know that you are living a life pleasing unto the Most High, and that you keep his commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws. They're jealous. Behold, the I am putteth no trust in his saints. Oh, this is nothing but these are the Satans. He putteth his trust in no saints. But yet the Most High did put his trust in Moses. He put his trust in Elijah. Not that they should fall with judgment or to carry out, to do those things, to live holy as they were commanded. The heavens are not clean in his sight. No, this Satan is not clean in God's sight. How much more abominable is the filthy is man which drinketh iniquity like water. Now through Eliphaz, this Satan is speaking. He's speaking with much wisdom and cunning of words. He said, I will show thee, hear me, what that which I have seen I will declare. Which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. Listen what the Satan is saying through Eliphaz. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days. The number of years is hidden to the oppressor. The number of years that he has oppressed. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. The destroyer shall come upon him. Who is the destroyer? The one that came through Egypt. This Satan is talking. There's a destroyer, a spirit. He has a name also. Or it has a name, or that spirit has a name. They flowed through Egypt and destroyed the firstborn of Pharaoh and all the peoples of Egypt. Listen, they know they have been in the way of righteousness at one time. They knew what it is to be righteous, but their heart have grown dark. In verse 20, a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer will come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is awaited for of the sword. The spirits have sway over the thoughts of men's heart. Abram understood these things before the Most High, although he did not know the Most High. He understood the dumb idols that his father had erected and had put in a cave, and he destroyed them all. And because he destroyed these idols, these Satan stirred up Nimrod, and he stirred up his father to where he wanted to destroy Abram. You don't hear it. You don't hear it. The trouble and anguish shall make him afraid, and they shall prevail against him as a king ready into battle. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. Who does this? Who is he talking about? Destroyer. He that runneth abroad for bread. Let's go back on this. I think I jumped myself a little bit because it was getting good. Okay. He says now, how much abominable and filthy is man which drinketh iniquity like water. I will show thee, hear me. That which I have seen, I will declare. This is what he's saying. He has seen, he will declare. Listen what he's seen. Which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it. Okay, he's seen it and he's declaring it. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth in pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. We covered that. A dreadful sound in his ears, in prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. The dreadful sound in his ears. In whose ears? The wicked man that travaileth in pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. The dreadful sound is in his ears, in prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. The wicked man. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid, and they shall prevail against him as a king ready for battle. The wicked man. For he stretches out his hand against God and strengthens himself against the Almighty. Who does this? The wicked man. This is a truth. He runneth upon him, even on his neck, and upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covereth his face with his fatness, and make collops of fat on his flanks. Just layers of fat, yeah. And he dwelleth in desolate cities and houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. He's calling Job wicked. 30. And he shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. The wicked man. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity. He's saying, Job, you're vain. For vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. Because of all you suffered, Job, this is what is come upon you. Because of all you've done, this is what comes upon you. Apparently, you are a vain, wicked man, is what the Spirit is saying through Eliphaz. Eliphaz thinks it's his own thoughts. And it shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. And they shall conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their bellies prepareth deceit. The wicked man. We have to think about it. Apparently, this Spirit speaking through Eliphaz is right. But Job is falsely accused of being wicked and vain. But if we do those things that are right before the Most High and obeying his statutes, commandments, and ordinances, we will have